Hello and welcome to Patrick's Models and Transport. So last night's video I was talking about cleaning wheels and doing sort of comparing different technical solutions between the Hornby acHO or Hornby, I pronounce it acHO, or Hornby A. Some people pronounce it acHO. I don't know. I say acHO. It makes more sense to me. And I could even call it Hornby acHO. acHO as well. Okay. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Pronounce it the way you want. And the JUF 140C locomotive. Okay. So we talked about that. And I was mentioning in last night's video that this locomotive, the Hornby acHO, the 131TB, on my tight radius bends, but on all bends, I noticed that it has, when the right side wheels are being pressed against the flanges are being pressed against the rail like that. So you can imagine we're going along a rail, a curved rail, and it's doing this movement here. No problem at all, because the wheels push towards the chassis and are held in position by the pickups, which are here, 1 and 2. These wheels here don't really touch a track. They've got flanges, they're slightly raised, so actually these two are doing the driving and supporting the locomotive together with the two pony trucks. Okay, right. So when we're going in an opposite direction and the left hand side wheels are pushing against the track like that, now I noticed cogging. The locomotive starts going badly, it tends to cog, it tends to jerk, it tends to stop sometimes. So I generally always run it in one direction. Anyway, it's a symmetrical tank engine, so you want to run it the other way, you just go in reverse, end of story. But of course, if I'm on, an S-bend or something in the sidings, or if I were ever fortunate enough to be able to build a real nice fancy layout with lots of bends and things, I would be limited to where I can operate this locomotive. And this is something that was potentially annoying, let's say. So what am I going to do? I thought about this over and over, and I cleaned and explained to you in last night's video. I cleaned the space between these wheels, which are the pickup wheels. These are the wheels that pick up the electricity directly, and then they're in contact with the chassis. So this is one polarity, and these two are the other polarity. In fact, here's the pickup, which is insulated with this Bakelite. On this Bakelite plate here. So this is a really very old locomotive. We've got Bakelite, we've got full metal construction apart from the bodywork, glass molded plastic. You can hear that it's raining. It's been raining all night. Nice, fresh. Let's hope it's the end of summer. I've had enough of it. Nice autumn. Autumn's my favourite season. Right. Anyway, so what I cleaned here with lighter fluid, like I did on the Kleinbahn D120, and it was pretty dirty, and so now I'm going to apply a spot of technical petroleum jelly to improve lubrication, so that when these wheels here are being pressed against the chassis, they continue rolling smoothly, and this will also help electrical conductivity, because as we know, technical petroleum jelly is an excellent, improves conductivity. So let's get going. To do this, I've cut one of these perfume testers with in a pointed shape, you can see, with the scissors, and I'm just going to go in and apply some grease. We don't need to be really okay, so I'm just going to press this out of the way I'm trying to do things as usual so that you can see what I'm doing. And I'm going to go in there. I don't want to really get the wheels too dirty, because then I don't want grease going on the points, on the rails. That's not a good idea, but we can definitely apply some grease. The central wheel here is not really concerned because this one here doesn't move around much, but we might add it, give it a spot. There, I'll have to clean it. I got some on the wheel. Fix that up. But it's in particular the front, the driving wheels I have this problem. So I'm just adding some more here like that. I'm sort of packing, this way I'm packing the axles, the side of the axles with grease. And it'll go in by capillary effects. The good thing is that we can even grease the axles here. We can actually add some grease. You can see that it is shiny, it's glistening a bit. So I had this, I think I greased this over a year ago, but technical petroleum jelly doesn't get gunked up. It's very, very good. A very good lubricant. I just want to spread this grease all around the back of the wheel so that we have a nice, anyway then by moving the wheels with a battery right now, we'll actually obtain the desired result of lubricating the whole wheel, the space between the wheels and the chassis. Okay, now let's get one of these, spot of lighter fluid, to remove the excess stuff that's gone where it shouldn't have gone. I'm going to pack this grease in here. There's no business under here. We want it to be between the wheels and the... Okay. We'll also add a little bit of grease, but I'll use a toothpick. We'll add a little bit of grease to the axles, seeing we're at it. That'll get pulled in. There we are, spot of grease. It's always better to be, not to be too generous with grease, because you don't want it bunging up, spreading around. The good thing at technical petroleum jelly is that it doesn't get splashed around like oil. So it's okay. I'm adding a wee bit here on the drive as well, and that'll just go in. And this is all metal gears. There's a brass metal gear down here and the brass worm drive on the acHO 4 motor. This acHO 4 draws quite a lot of electricity, of current, but it's its own characteristic. It's not, the magnet is strong, there's no problem. These magnets tend to lose, to get weaker in time, but these ones are actually, this one's actually okay. And I'm just going to clean away any excess that went here on the back, on the, because we don't want to make a mess. I also wanted to, see, I'm chatting away about this. In the previous video I was mentioning, you know, oxidized wheels. Now, I don't know if you can see with this light, but maybe you can. But we'll look, I've added some extra light. If we look at the wheels of the old Hornby acHO 131TB, they're brass wheels, chrome plated. The chrome plating is in very good condition. If we look at the wheels of the 140C, this locomotive has had quite a long working life before I got it, so it must have been used plenty. In fact, it had been slightly bad, there'd been a bit of a botch repair, and I fixed it when I got it. And you can see that in various points, the chrome is starting to wear out, and we see the brass wheels underneath. So that's why this locomotive tends to, you know, not pick up properly. because chrome doesn't oxidize, but brass oxidizes. So this locomotive here requires a lot of wheel cleaning, and probably a thinner layer of chrome is the consequence of cost cutting, because for example on the Jouef 231 C60, the one with the saucisson, the sausage motor, which is an older design, a much older locomotive, and it was also used intensely, the chrome on the wheels is absolutely perfect. It's too far away to catch it, to just take it right now, or to grab it, as I hear this word grab has entered British English. I don't know, for me grab is strange. Grab is when you grab something, you know, you grab a person, you grab a handrail, you grab, I don't know, the hilt of a sword, or something of the kind. You can't say, I'll grab a locomotive and just take it, and go and get it, but it's a bit too far away. Anyway, that's just one of these strange ways the language has developed. Grab. Okay, grab. Grab is something strong. It is not taking a locomotive. Grab a locomotive. But okay, no problem at all. Anyway, I don't understand grab. I don't use it. Okay, that's just a curiosity of mine, because I work with languages, and so I'm always a bit mesmerized by the use of the verb to grab out of context. But don't bother with me. I'm just an old fogey when it's about these things here. Right. Okie doke. I've done that. Now let's get the battery and run the battery. Let's put this work light. I call it work light. The instructions, of course, is made in China. You plug it in, you charge it by battery. It's fantastic. The instructions were written in a form of English that it was absolutely hilarious. I think I've kept them because they were really such good fun, and it was in I'm havering again. Okay, let's test this thing here now. No, you don't. Okay, let's put some. It's already running smoother. You see it, 9-volt battery has draws, for example, watch here, no problem at all. 5-pole motor doesn't draw so much electricity, but the 9 here, this locomotive here, is a thirsty one. So it's okay. I spread it around. Of course, I've managed to get grease on my fingers, grease everywhere else. Let's just get rid of the excess, because we don't want to have too much grease flying around. For example, this grease here is excessive to requirements. Okay, I think that is very good. And seen I'm at it, I'm also going to, this locomotive hasn't been used much lately, so better do a spot of bit of grease there, bit of grease there, and a bit of grease in here as well. Also the pretty rusty axles. I never cleaned these with the, they're not rusty where the axle sits in the axle box, but I've never bothered cleaning them with, you can see that it's nice and shiny there. You can see that it's nice and shiny there, right there, where we have to put the grease. I've never bothered cleaning them with fiberglass pencil. Maybe I should, but if they work, why complicate my life? I've also applied some sewing machine oil to them. It's nice and smooth. Okay, righto. So let's see if the battery wants to collaborate. If you start testing this locomotive with a 9-volt battery, your 9-volt battery doesn't last long. I should have a controller here, but I've got too many things on the desk. As we say in Italian, non ce la fa. Okay, righto. Okay, so that's done. Off camera I'll add a spot of sewing machine oil to the linkage, and well, we could even do that together, why not? Where is the oil? The oil's away up there, let's go and get it. Whew. Oil, oil, oil. Here it is. Let's add a spot of oil to this boy. Just a quick oiling. Seen it's not been used for some time. He's sitting around in a box. So I'm going to lubricate the linkage. I'm just going to do like this. Prop it up like that. Move this one out of the road. And this way you can see what I'm doing. Just a spot of oil like that. I am coming now. Just a spot, just to improve and reduce even here. All the linkage is pretty dirty looking and rusty, but it works. And I always oil it, so this locomotive has a quite, you know, it's not in pristine condition, but the kind of dirty and oxidized look adds to the weathering effect. And these locomotives were heavy goods locomotives generally, or even on passenger trains, but it's the worn out look also, it's patina. I see it as patina. I don't use an oiling pen because I think that I find that just micro drops on a bit of wire are more than enough for what we need when lubricating. Just a very light lubrication. Okay, let's do it. Let's prop it up like that. I'm sticking some in here as well between the, make everything run well and like in real life. This also has simplified valve gear. I mean, look here. This is a simplified valve gear. It's pretty heavy, huh? It's a heavy locomotive. The valve gear is simplified, but to a very good effect. Well, I find it's very well made, and it's a very nice locomotive to run. It draws quite a lot of current, but that's the characteristic of this motor. You can even re-motorize these with there are a series of acHO Bill he was showing. There's, I think, Peter Spears in the UK makes a conversion kit to put a modern motor and to fit modern motors, 5-pole motors that don't draw so much electricity, and maybe you can even so much current and so many amps. Sorry, pardon me if I might be not using the exact right words, but we know what we're talking about. The acHO 4 draws quite a lot of amps, and these new motors draw much less. So, and you can probably even work, you know, it's easier to then run them on DCC if you want to, you know, chip them and things. And that's one of the, I mean, I don't have DCC, and I'm mainly interested in the mechanisms, but should, you know, the motor stop working, I like this locomotive and I would consider getting a replacement. And it's pretty plug and play, and if you watch acHO Bill, he explains very well and shows you all the I might even add the link in the description box, I'll definitely put you the link in the description box, but you just need to look up acHO Bill's channel, and he's also Scot. He's from, I think he's from Perth, if I don't remember badly. Very nice technical videos, very competent man, and very nice the way he works, and refurbishing he works on, and a very nice model layout he's making. He's a lucky man with a whole room to himself to make his trains, and I like to watch his videos. He's, as we say in Italian, he's simpatico, and his accent's different. He has a slightly different accent compared to mine. I've got a West of Scotland accent, and a Glasgow one, which sort of changes according to what I'm doing. When I start explaining things, I sound like a teacher. Okay, righto, a spot of oil in there as well, and a spot of oil in there, just to make things run smoothly and avoid ancient plastic from getting worn out. Okay, we're ready. Right, here's our fantastic massive machine. I'll have to weigh this one as well. This is a hefty one, and I'll have to borrow my wife's. We'll actually do a video dedicated to the weight. We could even see who's the heaviest of the locomotives, and very nice model. This is a very nice model. I like it. The coal is pretty plasticky, but I don't know how I could improve that. Maybe I could touch it up a bit with some. I should add an electrocution hazard decal up here. I have to look on photographs of the real thing to see. I think it would be probably on this dome here, the taller dome, the dome not on the sandbox, because this is a sandbox. Okay, righto. I'm going to have to go for some lunch, and I'll test this, and oh my, 22-minute video, big long one. Cheerio, and see you next time. Ciao, ciao.